Loris does a great job of open field tackling there, and there's no run after catch on any of them.
Dager's catch makes it 3rd and about 4 for the Stallions. Stallions looking to get a first down and keep this clock moving. Again, you have to slow down that pass rush, and I think those short passes and those little dig routes are going to be the antidote for that.
But you know what? As stout as they are, that may not matter, Kevin.
It's true, too.
Sometimes a team's just really good,
Gentry Thompson around the corner once again.
It's going to be close, but I think he's going to be about a yard short. So.
Number 15, Gentry Thompson, stopped by number 0, Khalid Sherman.
Sherman, stops him on 3rd down. Big conversion here if you're South Columbus to get the clock moving. You do not want to give Loris the ball back.
So you got another choice here, 4th and 1. Do you go for it, or do you? I mean, if you went for it last time, you got to go for it this time.
4th and 1 on the 36, Brett. It's a lot. I think you got a lot better odds.
But I mean, I'm keep it on the ground here.
30-second clock down to about 14. Backside handoff to.
I didn't get it. Just that Loris line is just so pounding in there.
Easton McPherson taken by number 74, Demarion Thurman. Came to a sudden stop.
Yeah. Jay Todd there, number 12 for Loris, is just, he's everywhere. He's filling holes. He's running that defense, and there's no holes in it, Kevin. There's nowhere really to go.
And I'm looking at Thurman, and just as big as he is, he's taking up 2 and 3 blockers and still making plays.
Yep.
1st and 10 Lions, ball on the, looks like it's 41.
Ball knocked down at line of scrimmage. And there's that pressure you were talking about, Kevin. You're putting some pressure, getting your hands up when you come through. Knocking that down there is an incomplete pass, brings up 2nd and 10.
You have to do something, Brett, and I think Stallions are doing what they can. I mean, Loris is as advertised, and, I think Stallions are, playing with a lot of heart. It's just they're missing a half a play here, a half a play there from being into this ball game. Backside counter handoff. Well, looks like we have a fumble. Do we have a fumble on the play?
Nope. No.
On the carry for the Lions, number 3, Mikhail Stevens.
Good defense right here. Third and 7. But you're going to have to hold Loris 2 plays here.
If you were South Columbus, how do you get pressure on that Loris quarterback?
You just got to get low, Kevin. You got to be lower than the person across from you, and Loris has done a great job of protecting that quarterback and giving him a lot of time. Could have been movement, right? Yeah, it was. It's going to be another penalty against the Lions.
And
so if you see anything negative in their game tonight, it's got to be the penalties that they're giving up. But, they've got seven or eight penalties, and you look at the scoreboard, it don't show it.
Ball makes it, penalty yardage makes it 3rd and 14. And I'll tell you something, Brett. I mean, I like the Stallions' chances on 3rd and 14 better than I do on 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5.
Yeah, but Loris is good enough to where they can, that quarterback can find receivers 12, 13 yards down the field.
Gerald back to pass once again, still serving the scene.
And see, that's just too much time for a quarterback.
Stop just short of the sticks, Brett.
Yeah.
It'd be 4th and about 2.
All right, does number 3 for Loris get the ball here?
Sherman, I think, or Stevens will get the ball. And the question is, do you run or pass if you're Loris? I mean, 'cause you're really in a spot where you could do both.
I'm going to say they're going to hand it off to 3 here in the backfield, but I may be wrong. Maybe changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Maybe going into a pass here, away from the run. Yep.
Roll back by Gerald.
It's going to be a first down.
Alertly on 4th and about 3, I think Gerald would have been short, but you saw him reach the ball across the stick.
Yeah.
And that's just a heads-up play.
Yeah.
Gerald,
that's from watching Sunday and Saturday games right there.
Gerald, your senior leader at quarterback, that's a senior level play, Brett.
Well, it looks like they were in a certain play, and he looked at the defense and he checked out of it and went to the quarterback run and gets the first down.
Gerald back to pass once again.
2 wide open.
Goal line, shoestring, and he is in the end zone. Number 2, Khalil Sherman, just gets inches into the end zone for Loris, and it's 26-0.
You know, what I'm seeing defensively is it seems like South Columbus is getting a little bit mixed up on who they have. I mean, they're sending out every receiver they possibly can. You know, even the backside of the backfield are going out, and it's hard to know who you got and what your responsibility is. And we've seen a couple of times on defense that, you know, there's been some wide open just pitch and catch to the receivers there at Loris for another touchdown.
And South Columbus is used to the old Walk-A-Walk Conference, Brett, where there's some passing.
Yeah.
But they're not used to seeing a passing attack where every receiver of the 5 can potentially touch the ball.
You know,
kick is up. And good.
Loris is about 90% pass. Would that be 10% run? 100 minus 90 is 10. Yeah, I'm joking.
Now, I will tell you, the theme they most remind me of is the old Red Springs teams of the last several years.
Yep, I agree with you, Kevin. With a lot bigger offensive and defensive line. Now, you know, if you're listening back home and you're thinking South Columbus is not working hard, they're not doing what they're supposed to, I'm going to be the first to tell you, Loris has a really, really, really good football team. At every position on that field, they are top-notch. There is no weak link on either their defense or offense. You know, and that's what happens sometimes. You know, I remember South Columbus in the late 90s and early 2000s. We were that type of team that at every position we dominated. And, you know, things change, but, you know, you don't want to sit back and talk junk about South Columbus because you got to give it to Loris Lions. They got a really, really good football team.
Kick is up, and it is taken on about the 8-yard line. Washington once again takes it up the middle.
Got it. he had opening. Shoestring tackle.
I'll tell you, got to give it up for South Columbus. I mean, Washington.
Yeah.
Washington making a lot of that happen on his own, Brett, just by turning his legs, keeping his shoulders down. I mean, Washington's had the venture tonight, but, I mean, he's doing some good things for South Columbus.
Yeah. You know, got crowd in a little bit there. You know, heard the crowd cheer, and I think that's pretty much about the first time tonight that you've heard the crowd get into it or whatever. Maybe you can give the Stallions a little bit of adrenaline here to, you know, get pumped up and maybe score here before the end of the first half.
Stallion ball, 1st and 10 on the 40-yard line. Quarterback rolling around once again, picking up about 3 or 4, and you know, Craig Jackson Green's still running hard. But
he has to roll on every pass attempt. You've noticed he's rolling out. Reason being is because, hate to say it, they know that Loris's defensive line is dominating the South Columbus offensive line, and they can't hold a pocket. So they're having to roll out and trying to get something done there.
6:24 to go before halftime. South Columbus second and about 6. We will have the South Columbus band performing at halftime. You didn't get a chance to listen to them last week. We're definitely want to listen to them this week. Backside counter taken by number 2, Jalen Hubbard. Hubbard gets right back to about the line of scrimmage. Once again, it'll be 3rd and 6. Hardy on the tackle for Loris. Clock down under 6 minutes here in the first half. And I'll tell you, Brett, the schedule doesn't get any easier for South Columbus. They got to go to West Brunswick next week, and that West Brunswick team beat Whiteville last week.
Yep. Well, you know, if you went through South Columbus's schedule, the Loris game is one that you circled that says probably going to be a tough task to win. So, you know, wanted to be 2-0 and love to be 3-0, but it's just tough. Oh,
Nice catch, and he will take it. And he looks like he will go all the way down to the house. Number 10, Briar Johnson with a South Columbus touchdown.
And I'm trying to figure out what number 2 from Loris was doing there. He had the opportunity to just tackle him. He just pushed him. I mean, it wasn't even a tackle, so trying to figure that out. But, hey, 6 points for South Columbus. That's what you want. I talked about trying to score before the end of this half.
A needed breath of fresh air for the Stallions and a jolt. It was on, I think it was on about the 44 yards, a 56-yard touchdown, and that woke up the Stallion faithful and the Stallion sidelines, and a much-needed energy boost.
Briar Johnson just taking it to the house there, and you got to give credit to the quarterback for South Columbus Green. You know, he stayed back there. He had a man on him. You know, jersey pulling down, and he made the pass.
Oscar Valdez with the extra point, and Briar Johnson's house call makes it 27-7. South, I think, needed that, Brett, if for nothing else than to keep their heads in this ball game.
Okay, and if you're a South Columbus fan, right now is where you're saying, okay, let this be the first stop that we have against Loris, because, Loris's punter hadn't been on the field all night. So right now, if you're a Stallion fan, this is where you want to make that stop, possibly get the ball back, and,
Yeah, and there are no such things as moral victories, Brett, in high school football, but that is only the second defensive touchdown given up all season by the Loris Lions.
Yep. And it does give the South Columbus cheerleaders the opportunity to throw some footballs into the stands.
Brett and I have been doing this for several years, hasn't caught one yet.
Yeah, it's hard to get one through this plexiglass. I'm thinking about taking it out.
If we were at West Columbus, you could have, got through those windows. Valdez with the onside kick, taken by number 22 for Loris, and that is Donaldson Williams.
And see, I would rather kick that ball deep instead of giving them the ball closer with 5 minutes and 21 seconds left. But maybe they saw something where they could possibly come up with it, and just Loris did a good job of coming up and making the play. And I'm sure Loris has been ready for that onside kick all week, because, it's not
That's a traditional South Columbus kickoff.
It's known. But gives the ball there around midfield for the Loris Lions.
5:21 to go here in the first half. Loris up by 20. South Columbus with a needed touchdown, looking to get back in this ball game. Backside pitch to number 4. Cuts it up. Sweet little run by number 4, Roderick Percha.
Just giving straight to the jet man. He didn't slow down a bit, hit that corner, and just turned it up at the hash. Gain of about 25 yards there, it looks like.
Percha's jet sweep flips the field for the Loris Lions. And a lot of high tackles for the Stallions right now. First and 10 Lions, ball on about the 30, but the 34. Gerald's going to take it up the line. Missed tackle by the Stallions. Gerald's going to take it down. He will go into the end zone. 34-yard touchdown by the Lions.
That didn't take long.
It did not.
About 12 seconds. So Loris comes right here and just answers really quick against South Columbus's touchdown there. Number 7 weaving his way through, and, just a lot of missed tackles there and not breaking down, and Loris goes into the end zone.
Samir Gerald realizing everybody's covered and there's no spy. Looked like he was looking for a receiver and decided, wait a minute, nobody's covering me. I'll take it myself.
Yeah, hey, he might as well get into the action too, and he did for his for a touchdown.
5:02 to go here in the first half. Loris up 26, now up 27. And just as quickly as the air filled the stadium, it gets deflated again.
Yeah. And, if you're South Columbus here, you have to sustain a 5-minute drive here. You really cannot give the ball back to Loris give them the opportunity to get into the 40s in the first half, because that's just looking and seeing 40 on the clock or on the scoreboard at halftime is just killer.
Now, if you recall, they did change the running clock rule this year. It's down from 42 to 35, I believe.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm not going to try to do the math and see how many more points Loris needs, but I'll let you do that since you've got nine more toes than I do.
Well, I'm in a boot right now, so
okay.
I'm down 5.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll let you use those 5 hairs on your head, and you can count those too.
If I've got 5.
Nah, you got a full head of hair.
You know what it is. I can count the dark ones. All the gray ones are there.
That's right. Here we go. Loris kicks off here to South Columbus. Got Jalen Hubbard back deep again, along with Timion Washington. Is that going to be out of bounds? Yep. So that's going to give South Columbus some pretty good field position. Does that give it to them at the 40?
I believe so.
Oh, it is? Okay.
And I can tell you, Washington's had an interesting night. He was seriously thinking about picking up that ball.
He wanted to, but, I'd much rather him let it go out of bounds and South Columbus get the ball on the 40 there. But at least nobody got kicked off before the game started, kicked out, like the spit gate last night. I mean, hey.
I'm a Cowboys fan, Brett, and I got to be honest with you, I'm not disappointed. I think the Cowboys played well, considering who they were playing against and who was not on the field in, Micah Parsons.
Now, tonight it is
35.
The Chiefs.
Chiefs in San Diego.
At Sao Paulo, is that?
Yeah, in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
And that's in South America, in case nobody knows.
You can tell Brett used to teach social studies. He knows his geography. Turn and burn around the corner. And you got to love the running. Logan Todd's run picks up the first down, brings it almost to midfield. But I want to tell you something. You're looking at these Loris Lions, and they almost got burned again trying to throw a shoulder or push them out of bounds.
Yeah.
The last time they tried that, he took it into the end zone.
And, the shoulder tackles and the pushes is I've seen more by the defensive backs of Loris now. These linebackers are wrapping up and bringing the heat.
Looks like we got another offsides called.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
50 was offsides, and then 64 came jump in front of him.
So if they're playing in Sao Paulo, Brazil, did you know that it is the end of winter down there? So it could be sort of cold down there. You never know. I don't know what the forecast is.
It'd be interesting to see, it's in September, and they're getting snow down there.
Yeah. That's true. So
Brett showing off those former social studies chops.
No, science. I'm Earth Science now,
You're Earth
baby.
Science now.
We just talked about that this week, and that's why I brought it up. So anyway, trying to
look at those real-world connections, Brett.
Oh, man. Here we go. First down and 5 for South Columbus in Loris territory.
Backside handoff for number 5, Philip Smith Jr. The junior picks up about 2, make it about looks like actually I think they gave him 1. So it'll be second and about 5.
And that's the first time we've seen him carry the ball tonight. That looks like the traditional old buck sweep there, where you try to turn it up off tackle.
Now, with the penalty, it's only second down, but South Columbus does have a chance to convert this with 4:24 to go. Backside handoff to Logan Todd. Todd with a great stiff arm picks up
There's
extra
a flag.
7, 8 yards.
That's going to be a late hit out of bounds, so that's going to tack on another 15. Is that 15 or 10, Kevin?
15.
Now, there's a possibility it could be a hold with 1 and a late and a out of bounds personal foul on this side. I'm not sure. Let's see what they call. Did they both call personal fouls? Yeah, I think they did.
And again, Loris hurting themselves, Brett. You're not used to seeing a team.
Face mask.
You're not used to seeing a team as stout as Loris picking up this many penalties.
Yeah, I agree. If, like I said, you look at anything negative against Loris, probably moved into their – I would be willing to bet close to their 10th penalty for the night. 10 in the first half is uncalled for on a team the caliber of Loris.
Got a timeout called by the Loris Lions, Brett, and I think the head coach of the Lions, Greg Mance, is pointing that point out. They've had two offsides on the far half. Now that they're on this side, they just gave the Stallions an extra 15 off another 15-yard gain. And South is looking to get their second score of the evening. Beautiful night for football. We got looks like an almost full moon in front of us.
Yep. That's a waxing full. I'm joking. I don't know.
Is it waxing or waning or gibbonous?
I'm not sure. I ain't got into that. You hadn't studied up on that.
There's a reason I taught English in my career, as opposed to science. Got to love our science teachers out there.
The only thing I know is that's the moon.
That's the moon I want to see.
Yep.
As opposed to the other kind.
So 4:15 left to go in the first half here. 34-7.
First and 10 Stallions. Ball in the 19. Stallions, I think, will look for the touchdown, not the field goal at this point.
Yeah. Definitely in 4-down territory. But what can you do here to get through this big defense of Loris? 74-64 across that front line there. 64, Jamarius Wilson, 74, Demaria Thurman, just tough in that middle there.
Green's pass once again connected to Gentry Thompson. Picks up just a couple.
South Columbus receivers has done a good job holding on to the ball once they catch it because they're taking some big licks out there. There's going to be some soreness in the morning when some of these Stallions wake up.
Green's pass picks up about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Stallions. Staying in front of the sticks, 3 yards in a cloud of dust will do you just fine if if it changes the field position.
Straight give to number 9, Easton McPherson's. There's going to be a flag there, though. There's going to be a hold on that left side. It's going to come back and put you behind the chains there, Kev.
And, mental mistakes will kill you, Brett. And, these two teams are 2-0. Whereas you were able to get away with some of these mental mistakes last week and the week before, they start to add up at this point.
But, that's South Columbus's maybe their second penalty of the game. I can't remember many more, but, that's a costly one where it, puts you back behind the chains. Going to be 2nd and 15.
2nd and 7 as opposed to 2nd and 15 is a definite, a definite hardship for the Stallions. Can be overcome. Stallions do have 3 downs to get 14 yards.
Nasir Hutchinson, number 1, checks in for South Columbus. Going to be a split in over here. Probably calling in the plays there.
Logan Todd slips.
He just looked up, and there was a whole bunch of white jerseys there.
Sometimes discretion is the better part of valor. Stallions,
I think he slipped on the C on the Columbus Regional.
Could be that tall blade of grass we've talked about once or twice.
3rd and 17 now, 3:20 left to go in the second half.
Important for the Stallions, though,
First
they're
half.
not giving up the football. The time is coming off the clock, and you're not giving Loris a whole lot. You're going to make them go the whole field to score if they get the ball back.
Yeah, because you give Loris the ball here with 2 minutes left to go, I think they can march down the field.
Green's pass just a bit far.
Couldn't find it there. Preston Dagger looking up and ball. He looked over his right shoulder and the ball's over his left shoulder.
Now, do you go for a dagger or a dagger, or do you try to get enough yards to give them a long field, Brett?
I don't know. I'm even thinking about maybe a field goal right now to get something possibly. Let the senior big leg try it, but down 34-7. You're probably not going to do that.
You have the timeouts. Do you want to go ahead and take one here, Brett, and let them think about it?
And I think that's what's going to happen. Look at our head coach, Toman.
What can I say?
Are you radioing down and telling him what to do and not telling us? Is that what you're doing?
I will tell you this. Russell Dove and I become good friends during baseball season. I come over to the Stallion public address and, kind of enjoy hanging out with Russell Dove and some of the others. And, I can tell you, Russell Dove is always trying to think of a way to manufacture points.
Yeah, and you know, a coach, you have special plays for special times, and
They busted one out last week
yep,
with the hook and ladder.
this may be one that you know you can throw out here, but the defense of Loris is a whole lot different than the defense of West Columbus. So I'll tell you that. So it's going to be hard to get 21 yards.
True, and
There's not many plays against this
I think in a
defense you can
27-point
find.
deficit, what do you got to lose by giving Valdez a shot?
You know, go Hail Mary into the end zone if you can get time here. Hey, throw it up. It's just like a punt. Even if it's intercepted and you can get them down,
maybe you can
pin
draw a
them
flag.
deep. You can pin them deep. But I don't think you can give this line enough time for him to sit back and throw it. No, 50 comes right off the edge. 50 came by untouched.
Landon Connor.
Yeah.
And Connor, I think he almost took the snap.
Quarterback Jackson
Yeah, didn't even – nobody even phased him as he went by.
He had no disruptors. And I'll tell you something that's interesting to me, Brett. You're looking at right now, it's only about 5 minutes after 8, and we're at halftime.
Yep. And, you know, so you're giving Loris the ball back with just under 3 minutes, and they've already shown that it don't take a lot for them to score. So, you know, Loris ain't taking a knee here. They going for pay dirt.
Ball is on the 37-yard line. Gerald back to pass once again. Running for his life.
Good defense by South Columbus.
And we got a
Lord.
roughing the passer call back here.
And I don't think it matters. It's going to be 0 on the pass. That's just too much time, Kevin. You can't give a quarterback that much time and, you know, expect your defensive backs to make a stop. So,
And I'll tell you, I mean, if South Columbus is playing hard, Brett, you're just up against, you know, a team that's just, you know, as advertised. And are there things to be learned for South in a game like this?
well, yeah, there's always things that you can learn. You know, you good thing about it is you're giving your defensive backs a good preseason matchup against the pass, and it gives your coaching staff a good look at who can, you know, defend the pass and stuff like this. You know, I know this is the border battle and all this stuff, but, you know, the preseason for kicks and giggles, South Columbus is ready to get that conference and make that move in that conference. Loris is not even in their conference, not in the same state. So, you know, South Columbus is looking for, you know, what they can do in their conference. And they knew that, you know, bringing Loris in here was going to be a tough task, and it showed right now, you know, 41-7 it is.
The point after attempt is good, and with 2:34 left in
And,
the first half.
you know, credit South Columbus moved the ball all the way down to the 10. I think they've shown their offense can do good things, but they just cannot have those mental errors that cost them drives and cost them yardage.
Yeah, and it's just tough to move the ball on this Loris defense. I mean, they're just big, stout, fast, strong. Any adjective you can think of describes the Loris defensive side of the ball.
And I think, correctly as you stated, this game is more about what you're going to see in the film room on Monday. I think this will be a good instructional tool because you are going to come up against teams in conference that have the ability to spread you out and pass the ball. And South Columbus traditionally does not get into those kinds of teams till deeper in their season.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is what's a hold again. What was that call?
The penalty yardage from the roughing the passer.
Oh, I thought you just declined it there. Okay, all right.
It's a personal foul, so they took it
Okay,
on the
okay.
kickoff.
Yeah, I mean, this is the best team in the regular season that you're going to see if you're South Columbus. So you hope to get out of here learning something, and you hope to get out of here healthy. You know, there's some hitting going on, guys. You know, I can hear it from up here in the press box, some banging of some pads and stuff like that I hadn't heard the last two games. So, you know, you want to learn something, don't bring it out. Don't bring it out there.
He actually had one foot in the end zone.
I know, but
And, you know, Washington is a junior, and
Yeah.
those are things he's going to learn at the varsity level.
Yeah.
You know, the difference between getting the ball in the 1 and trying to take it out to 12 or 13
Yeah,
as opposed to taking the ball in the 20.
Yeah. I mean, they see on TV,
The Cavante Turpins of the world.
running
Devin
out the
Hester,
end zone, but, even if you're at if it bounces, let it go into the end zone because that's an easy 20 yards there.
Thank goodness we don't have the NFL kick where it has to land in the landing zone. And
Yep.
You need a degree in differential calculus to understand that part.
Gentry Thompson there on the carry. Maybe gain of about 1.
Think Stallions content to try to run this clock out.
Yeah, I don't see him passing it here. And I see him running the 30-second clock down to, as close to 1, 2, and 3 as possible. Because I told you there's something about mentally looking at an opponent having 40 points at halftime that's just, very disheartening. And that's what you got here, 41-7.
Stallions still playing hard, Brett. They're giving it everything they got. Nice fade pattern over the shoulder and great catch by number 1, Nasir Richard Hutchinson.
Well, see, I think Loris was thinking that South Columbus wasn't going to pass either, that they were going to try to go to, the locker room at halftime by, just running out the ball. But
look at this fade pass by Jackson Green to Nasir Hutchinson. And I'll tell you, I mean, you couldn't ask to throw it better than that. That's how you draw it up.
Starting to get a little cool out there, Kevin. I feel a little crispness coming through the door here.
P in that word.
Number 9, Easton McPherson.
McPherson's tackled by the center of that Lion line.
Gain of about maybe half a yard or a yard.
Now that the Stallions have got that first down, they can run this clock out.
The ball carrier, making the stop, number 74, Demira Thurman. 2-yard gain.
2-yard gain makes it 2nd and 8. Minute and a half to go till halftime. We will have the South Columbus band at halftime under the direction of Richard Tyndall.
You got anybody at halftime you're interviewing?
Nope, it's going to be the South Columbus band this week.
Okay, all right. And somebody told me to tell everybody in here to be quiet so they can hear the band.
Okay.
I was told that. Okay, all right. Yeah, we're going to try to let you hear the band tonight. 15 over the middle with the reception.
Thompson makes the first down Stallions with 57.4 to go.
Well, 2-minute offense is looking good here for South Columbus.
Yeah, Stallions going against form, Brett. You thought they would try to run this clock out and get it to halftime. They still got 47.6. They can put a scoring drive together.
Well, let's do it. It's going to be a timeout. Is that Russell Dove's last time out of the half, I think?
I believe so. 32.2 to go here. Stallions first and 10, ball on their 45, Brett. And Valdez does have a big leg. How many yards do you think they need to get to put it in Valdez's range?
Well, they at least he could kick a 40, so that means you'd have to get at least to the 28 there.
Look at Brett doing the geometry.
Well, hey, there's 10 yards in the end zone. A lot of people say, well, he's at the 30. If he kicks a field goal, it's going to be a 30-yard field goal. But, you got to add that 10 yards that is the end zone itself, plus another about 3 to 4 yards of, putting the ball down and stuff like that. So
let's see if I
about
got this
another
right.
15 yards.
So far tonight, Brett has done science, geography, so social studies. He's done some math. All we need to get you to do is conjugate some verbs to write an essay, and you've hit all of them.
Jack of all trades, master of none, baby.
You are a Renaissance man, Brett. Jackson Green back to pass once again.
He's got somebody deep, number 10.
Nice defensive play.
Number 2 never turned around, but, came up with the play there.
Pass intended for number 10, Byron Johnson. Covering on the play, number 2, Khalil Sherman.
Khalil Sherman, with that lanky arm out, just disrupted enough to make that an incomplete pass. 24.9 to go. Stallions 2nd and 10 on their own 45. Now, credit the Stallions, not quitting, Brett. I mean, they're showing some pluck here. I mean, they're down a bunch, but they're still playing hard.
Yeah, they're trying to score here going into halftime. There's going to be
Reversed, back over
there.
to Easton McPherson. McPherson taken down by an arm.
Nice job by, if I can get a number over there, 48 for
Ethan Shaw.
You're taught to stay home. They call it BCR, backside counter reverse. He saw the reverse coming.
I've heard of an arm tackle before, Brett, but that was literally grabbing his arm and throwing him down by it.
Yep. Strength will do that for you.
Our score at halftime, South Columbus down 41-7. The Lions, as advertised, Stallions playing hard against, a team up in class from what they played the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Brett, if you're South Columbus, what are you saying at halftime if you're Russell Dove?
Well, you want to pick out some things that you got to work on, and I think probably being overloaded in the secondary is one of the biggest things that's hurting South Columbus. Some of the defensive backs, and linebackers don't know what receivers they have, and so there'll be some adjustments made on that. Also they're going to tell their line that we got to get low on these offensive linemen and try to win the battle of the low ground beneath. But you know what? You see it 41-7 coming in, and again, what I said, guys, I'm not giving up, or South Columbus shouldn't give up at all, but, Loris is a really good football team, and, you want to find stuff to work on. You don't want any of your kids to get hurt, injuries or whatever when you're getting ready for the conference play. It's going to be tough to come back 41-7.
How hard is it if you're a linebacker and the secondary of South Columbus to see that many passes coming at you?
I mean, it's tough.
When your traditional conference schedule says 90% run.
Yeah. I mean, they're just overloaded. They're the defensive backs and the linebackers have just not seen anything like this. It's more of a,
It's the difference between playing checkers and chess.
It is. It's a different kind of defense. Our defense is molded more on being able to stop the run instead of the pass, and just, South Columbus has just met up with a team tonight that can do it all. I mean, they can probably sell popcorn at halftime here and, get away with it and do a good job at it. So.
Okay, Brett and I will be back in just a few moments. We're going to give you an opportunity to enjoy the South Columbus High School Band under the direction of Richard Tyndall. And we'll be back for second half action in just a few moments.
So the cheerleaders, okay?
Give it up for your South Columbus High School marching Stallions.
Yeah.
We have an update. It's Whiteville 31, East Bladen 14.
I don't know what he means.
And at half, it's West Columbus 12, West Bladen
Are the
12.
cheerleaders going to be on the field, or are they going to be like in their little area? Switch. Okay. Well, they're not even out yet. What's up? I love this song. Sorry, I just elaborate on that. You're doing good. Don't be too stiff, okay?
Well, I'm a chicken fried. A cold beer on a Friday night. A pair of jeans that fit just right. And the radio.
Okay, Brett and I are back for second half action. Brett, I took some time to enjoy this, the South Columbus band. I know you were walking on the beach.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's what I enjoy. It seems to, but anyway.
And going to some movies. Have you seen any good movies with you?
Well,
and
you
the
know
girls
what?
lately?
Listen. All the movies I watch at the movie theater are all animated or kid related. Like we just watched Freakier Friday, and I actually got into it. I'm not gonna lie to you, but listen. What I love about the movies, I get that big old bucket of popcorn. I get me some dark chocolate Raisinets and about a 48-ounce Diet Dr. Pepper, and you can't tell me anything. So.
Now, it is the one great thing about having kids, Brett, being able to go to those movies and that you would go to anyway, but you look weird if you don't take your kids with you.
Yeah, that's true. So there's a lot of them I would not get, and there's so many good ones I want to see, but I can't take my kids to see them. So anyway, catch those on Netflix or something like that.
Valdez's kick goes all the way back to the 5, darting up through the middle, and he looks to go to
Fumble.
release midfield.
Did the ball come out? I thought it did. Okay. Hey, good return by number 1 for Loris there. We got a
Jacoby
and Lewis there. Kicked it deep, but just made a good run back up through the middle and was going to be right at the 50-yard line.
The upside of those movies for you, Brett, though, is at your age, you get in for half price anyway.
Hey, and I'm starting to use that too. I get that senior coffee at McDonald's whenever I can.
I'll tell you what else, Brett. I started to get, even in my low 50s, those messages from AARP.
Yeah. I'm ready to get that new Columbus County Schools card where we get like free coffees and stuff.
The one where you get that free drink at McDonald's. Absolutely.
I hadn't seen the new ones this year, so I'm going to have to do some inquiry and see where those are. All right, starting the second half, Loris with the ball. Number 3 on the right side.
And he just shifts his shoulders, and he's going to just about the 3-yard line is number 3, Mikkel Stevens. Now, this is a 34-point game, Brett. One more point, and we are into a running clock.
Yeah, it's going to go quick once that running clock starts. I mean, but, that's the rule it's called the mercy rule, and and it looks like South Columbus is definitely going to need it tonight with Loris right here knocking on the door.
And as much as you want to see these young kids, maybe get some opportunities, Brett, and you feel for those kids, with running clock, it's really a safety rule, and you want to keep these kids healthy.
Yeah. And I think everybody, true football fans, realize that, that Loris has the team to beat this year. Loris has a good chance of probably going to what they call the lower state championship there.
Number 6, Rylan Norris with a great open field tackle, of number 4, Roderick Porsche, and it's going to be second and goal from about the 2. High snap taken by Porsche. Porsche in the end zone for the Lions.
It looks like, Loris's backs seem to be small, and really quick, so they're not the big banging backs that you would normally see. They can just get through those holes and weave in and out, and it don't take but, a minute for Loris to score, and now the clock is running, and if you notice back home, if the clock's running, that is a rule in high school football.
Looks like Loris will kick the extra point once again.
And the bad thing about a blowout score, sometimes we tend to say some things that,
tend to get us in trouble.
Yeah, you're right. That looks
kick is
good.
up and
good.
No good.
There's a little black eye on Loris. I'm looking at Loris's game, and, their kicking game, as in extra points and stuff, hadn't been all that great. So.
And the thing about this Loris team is they can actually get better, Brett.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, mental mistakes, penalties, some of these special teams plays. This Loris team is capable of playing that much better. You and I talked while we have an opportunity with this running clock, it's the end of the beginning of the school year.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're kind of getting to the meat of things. Got some great stuff coming up. Columbus County Fair's coming up soon.
Yeah, that's right. We're moving in next week to the third week of school, getting into the fall season.
I got to correct you on that. My kid's got progress reports coming out on Monday.
That's true. That's true.
So,
But you're what, 2 weeks ahead of us?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. 3 weeks ahead of regular Columbus County schools.
Our kids will be done the Friday before Memorial Day, whereas South Columbus, these traditional schools will go till the I think the second week of June.
And to Kevin, congrats on those good 80% proficiency test scores. I'm looking probably best in the county, so I got to give it up to you.
Honestly, I would love to take credit for it. I love my English scores. They turned out well, but it was a great team effort. We have some fantastic educators over there, and it's a team effort from the administration on down through the teachers, the students, the parents. It's a great family atmosphere over there, and, I love our school because, you have a bunch of people who will go above and beyond for these kids, and we have a great program over there.
Well, in life, if you love what you do, it's not really work in the first place. So,
Absolutely.
Teachers sometimes get a bad rap, but I always invite some people to say that, hey, walk 1 week in our shoes and see if you say the same thing after that
And
week.
I can tell you, across the county, a lot of schools went up this year. Proficiency, growth, and backside handoff.
It's going to be the number 21 there for South Columbus, which is going to be Timion Washington. But, just Loris just pursues to the football so well. They flow to the football with a bunch of white hats and just check in. They don't arm tackle. They get low and they run through the ball, and that's why it's tough to really, get anything going against this defense.
Both these teams very well coached in fundamentals, Brett. It's just you're looking at a team who has a primarily junior, senior-laden team against a team that's more sophomore, junior, senior, and South Columbus is on the way back up, but you're looking at a strong senior-laden team if you're Loris.
Drop dot pass over here to the side there to Easton McPherson. Dropped, but once even Pat, if he had made the catch there, it probably wouldn't have been anything gained after the catch because there was two white hats, ready to make that tackle.
Again, Brett, we got next week. We're going to East Columbus for Whiteville at East Columbus. South Columbus will be going to West Brunswick next week.
Get to go to the swamp down there.
For our first chance to see the East Columbus Gators this year. The East Columbus team, I believe, is the only 1A team in Columbus County.
Yeah. And really the only 1A team in the area, to tell you the truth. Is that double motion there? Yeah, they called it.
I was going to
They waited a while before they called it.
I think they were surprised they were still going, too.
Yeah.
Next week in the county, it will be Whiteville at East, Sand Hills at West, and South at West Brunswick.
Okay.
So, it's a good football. You have
and you know what's good about next week, Kevin?
what's that?
The temps get down to like 80 in the daytime, so that means it's going to be 60 and maybe dipping into those 50s at night, which I love.
What we affectionately call football weather.
That's right. That's right.
And I believe it's about another month or so, we'll have daylight savings time as well.
Pass out ahead of Easton McPherson there, so it's going to bring up fourth down, and the punt unit for South Columbus will come out here with 6:03 left to go.
All the way down to 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
So this game actually, as we said, will get over really fast now. So, but like I said, I'll be heading to Greensboro this week. Got to go 3 days with Southeastern to some conferences and stuff.
Talk to us a little about what you're doing now at Southeastern.
Well, I've been tapped as a trustee for Southeastern. That is just somebody. Somebody asked me, it's sort of like being the board education from Southeastern.
I don't think a lot of people know that you actually graduated from Southeastern.
I did graduate from Southeastern, 2-year degree. I was actually, and a lot of people don't know this, I was actually Mr. SCC. I was in a little pageant to try to get some money to go to school. My dad said,
Please
son,
tell me there wasn't a swimsuit.
No, but there was an active wear, and I wore like a baseball uniform, and there was a talent, and I sang Billy Joel song. And if people back home can maybe guess what the song is by Billy Joel that I sung, maybe they can shoot it on the internet, and let's have a little bit of fun right here.
Oh, yeah.
Name some Billy Joel songs that you think I sang there. But
So you may be right, I may be crazy.
I love that song. I'm a big Billy Joel fan. But
New York State of Mind.
nope, that wasn't it. Anyway, keep guessing there, brother. I'll tell you when you're correct. So Loris is going to take over here on, no.
Living in Allentown.
South Columbus going to punt it away here. So we get a chance to see South Columbus number 22 punt. And that is going to be Nolan. Is that Nolan Thompson back?
I believe so.
Okay, here we go. Adam Thompson's son. Oh, he's already punted. My fault.
Yep.
Well, we got Nolan Thompson back deep for South Columbus. Safety.
Jet sweeps tackled for a loss by the South Columbus Stallions. Briar Johnson coming up hobbling.
So probably what you're seeing here on both teams, you're seeing some substitutes because they don't want any kind of injuries or whatever. We got Briar Johnson that is hobbling off the field a little bit here.
Let's see. We didn't start the fire.
That's a good one. That ain't it, though.
Longest time. Uptown Girl.
It was off the Glass Houses CD, I'll tell you that.
It's still rock and roll to me.
Amen, baby. You got it. Good job. Who guessed that? You did or somebody?
I did.
Okay, good job. Glass
Googled
Houses
it.
CD. Okay. All right, there you go. Good job. Did Stacy Prince get that? Did she chime in there? Because I know Stacy is one of our most loyal watchers, big South Columbus fan. She usually sits back and listens at her beach house and enjoys our broadcast. Some people don't enjoy our broadcast, but, she does, and we enjoy her, listening up. And there's a lot of loyal fans that we have. I have a lot of people that say, hey, y'all did a good job, and they enjoy hearing us, and we enjoy doing it. So it's going to be 3rd and about 7 for Loris.
Alicia Piper Hendricks said Piano Man or Uptown Girl.
Alicia actually played softball for me back in the day.
Van Holcomb said Piano Man.
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
Our good friend Doris Strickland chiming in.
Okay.
Putting out a good word for Coach Dove.
Yeah. What's up, Mr. Shane Wright, coming behind me here, Mr. Tabor City.
Love the fact that we've got already 4,000 views from our friends at South Columbus,
Yep.
but another 1,000 on the Columbus County Facebook.
Yep.
If you get a chance to follow us, you can follow us on county Facebooks, any of the teams that are playing from Columbus County, Roku now, the Columbus County app.
And
Kelly Jones does a
we're
great
still
job.
floating a podcast possibly for Columbus County sports.
Well, Kelly and
see
I,
what
that's
happens
one
there.
of the reasons we did the
It's going to be a touchdown for the Loris Lions. Are they going to mark him down? They're going to the middle to see. Is it a fumble?
I think they're trying to figure who's got the ball first.
South Columbus is saying our ball, so it may be South Columbus. We'll see.
And the clock's still running, guys.
South Columbus says they got it, and I think
And it is touchdown.
Woo, okay. Maybe he broke the plane of the goal before he fumbled, because that's all you got to do, just break the plane of the goal.
South
there.
Columbus kids are looking for the challenge flag. I don't think you can do that in high school football.
No, and I don't think we could see it from here because it was up in the huddle or whatever. But, I don't think there's anybody going to complain about that call here tonight.
We did do that one ball game where I was incognito, that first ball game.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to look to see if we could do some stuff like that. Kelly and I are talking about doing a Columbus County Schools podcast.
Yeah.
And you and I doing a podcast for, Columbus County sports.
You're going to make me study up a little bit if I do something like that.
Kick
And
us up and good.
it may go national, and we can start charging and stuff like that. 99 cents to listen.
Which one of us would be Greeny? Which one of us would be Golick?
I don't know, but we got to figure out if it's going to be the Brett and Kevin show or the Kevin and Brett show.
Alphabetical order. Yeah.
Alphabetical, yeah. So Brett and Kevin, the BK show.
Well, we're waiting for Kelly to give us, the information when we can start our podcasting for
that would
Columbus
be-
County
that
schools
would be
and
fun
the
to do.
sports.
That would be fun to do. We can do like they did on, what is it, not Varsity Blues, but Friday Night Lights,
Yeah.
and they go live from Chili's. We don't have a Chili's in Tabor City, though, do we?
We can go live from, was it Joe's Barbecue?
Yeah, there we go. Or, live from Dale Seafood or something like that. We would, and we could get people to be there and be behind us and go crazy. Yeah, that would be awesome. And Mr. Kelly Jones, you see our flags coming into South Columbus. We have flags up now, and each flag has a sport on it. So there's a tennis flag, there's a football flag, and so on and so forth. So adding some things here to South Columbus.
I'd like to add they should have some on the far side of the building for CTE.
There you go. Do all kinds. South Columbus, Jalen Hubbard with the ball there.
Slips and slides and gets his way through.
He fumbled. That's going to be a – says he's down. Says he's down. I think the referees are being a little generous right there.
That is the end of 3 quarters of football. Our score, Loris 54, South Columbus 7. And, Brett, talk to us a little bit more about, some of the changes in the last couple of years at South Columbus. I've noticed, they've really worked on this press box. They've started, to work on the grounds a little bit.
Well, I'm going to give
a lot of productive changes.
I'm going to give a shout out to the Jimmy G Fund and the persons that control the Jimmy G Fund. They do a lot of stuff for the schools in the southern end of the county. If our schools can show a need and they show where the schools are working toward it, then the Jimmy G Fund will come in, because the Jimmy G Fund wants these southern schools to be immaculate. Mm-hmm. That's what they told us. They want to be known as schools that are above the norm, and they're doing a good job with that money. And you can see some things that has been paid for, like this field. They got a painter that paints this field. Probably those flags that were put. All this fencing, all this brand new black fencing that's up, is paid for through the Jimmy G Fund. And
also a big supporter of South Columbus is the South Columbus High School Stallion Club.
Yeah, Stallion Club has done a great job over the last couple of years of selling stallion paraphernalia and giving the fans what they want, giving them some good food here at the football games, and Stallion Club has done a really good job with those types of things.
Yeah. Also got to give a shout out to the South Columbus Band Boosters. They have Stallion Classic coming up next month already, Brett.
Yeah, that's your time to get the fried what? Oreos.
Fried Oreos,
yeah.
Sausage dogs, funnel cake's always good here.
Yep. All right, South Columbus takes over 1st and 10 from their own 20. Jalen Hubbard on the carry, gains of about 15 yards. What's up, Jeff Godwin in the house?
Hey, Doris says hello. Doris said that she appreciates what we do. Doris, we appreciate you tuning in each and every week.
I appreciate that, Doris. Appreciate your support over the years also.
Doris is a longtime follower of ours. I remember my first year or two in the games almost 8-9 years ago now, and I started in 15, so about 8 years.
Maybe we should have her as a guest.
We should.
There you go.
I think we'd love to have Doris as our podcast guest.
All right, South Columbus 1st and 10 again. Jalen Hubbard again on the carry, gain of about 10 yards.
And I'll tell you something, Brett. I mean, you love to see a lot of this good stuff happening. A lot of these schools really starting to invest in modernizing and really, making these campuses stand out.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to the great people, who do the work at Mount Olives. Some of the construction people who've done some of the great work updating that gym over at Williams Township.
And also the gym at South Columbus will be air conditioned this year in basketball, just to let you know that.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Number 5 for South Columbus weaves his way up for a first down. That's going to be Phillip Smith. Well, close to a first down. Going to be a tad short, sorry.
You mentioned Jimmy G. Who is Jimmy G?
Jimmy G is a person from Tabor City that started a fuel business. And give a smile away every day, time saver in those stores like that. Was always generous when he was alive, but even though he's gone and not with us, he's still being generous with his money, which I commend him and his family on that.
Jalen Hubbard once again picks up the first down.
And it's always good to have, a group that will support your school financial-wise, that you can get some things. But that they also want you to, they want us to do some work too. They just don't want to hand it out. They want us to show that we're willing to do some work.
And I can tell you, each school in the county, South, West, East, and Whiteville, really has some really caring people who are really investing in our public schools, which is a great thing to see. I mean, people who have benefited from a Columbus County education returning that love to their home county.
And, it's more than just sports, too. It's the arts that we need to fund. It's music or whatever. It's all different kinds of kids that, represent Columbus County. We can't just call out the athletes and say that's who the representative is. We have groups of people from all walks of the academics that, that does things for the Columbus County
Gentry
schools.
Thompson on the carry.
Ladies and gentlemen, get your 50-50 tickets.
It's 50-50 time. I didn't buy any
I
this
think
week.
this is about the only thing we're not going to win
I tell
tonight.
you what I did, though. I bought me 10 tickets today for the $1.8 billion.
So what you're saying is if you don't, if you do win it, I'll be looking for a new co-host next week.
I'm going to tell you what, I'd still do it, tell you the truth, if I could live in Columbus County with that much money. But I said today my church and my schools would be immaculate if I won that much money. You can believe that.
Number 15, Gentry Thompson again on the carry, making the stop number 10.
8:14 to go here in the ball game.
Speaking of that, tomorrow morning I got to play in a golf tournament for the Baptist Association and their toy drive. Baptist Association does a big toy drive and supports about 300 families. Me and my preacher Rusty Davis from
And that is
Cherry
I think
Grove.
that's really important to both of us,
Playing.
but I think, we take a whole lot out of our communities. We need to put a whole lot back in.
Yeah.
If you get a chance, some of these great civic organizations that are out there really need your support.
Yeah, Philip Smith, number 5 there on the carrier for South Columbus, gains of about 1 yard, 1.5. We'll give him 1.5 yards there.
No quit these Stallions, but still playing hard.
And what you're seeing now on both sides, you're seeing, your subs out there playing. There's not many starters out there playing on either side of the ball. Just getting ready for next week. That's what's happening right now.
763-055.
867-5309. Whose phone number is that? Don't say it.
I know that number. I know the
867-5309. Whose number is that? Who knows it? Whose number is that? Kelly
Philip
Jones
Smith,
knows.
yeah. Philip Smith on the carry once again.
867-5309. We're going to see who back home knows it. Oh, I called that number many times when I was young. I tried every area code in the book. They said at one time that was the most dialed number ever. Yeah. All right, South Columbus back, handoff to number 3 there around the right side is going to be
Caden Batten.
tackled for a loss there, Caden Batten.
Starting to hear some of the names that are the future of the South Columbus Stallions.
16,
Jaden Clay on the stop for the Lions.
a loss, going to bring out 4th down.
Got Robbie Lee watching back home. Longtime buddy, South Columbus coach. Give a shout out to him. Somebody won some money. They're excited. Yeah. So, ma'am, tell us what you're going to do with this money.
Would you like to sponsor a podcast?
None of your business.
Like I said,
All right, South Columbus 4th and about 8. You know they're going to go for it here. It's going to be a timeout, actually. Give us more time to talk.
I'd like to congratulate
Yeah.
Miss Emily Worley.
Emily Worley.
Our 50-50.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think she
Hold
wants to
on.
sponsor a podcast?
We got Emily Worley here that won the money.
The
Emily,
newly
you got
rich
anything you
Emily
wanna say?
Worley.
Go Stallions.
Okay, there we go. Did you donate it back? Thank you. No, take your money. Take your money. She donated me $1 back to South Columbus. I gave it back to her. But Emily Worley won the money. Played volleyball here and basketball here at South Columbus. Chris Worley, her father, and good to see. It's good to see old Stallions coming back and supporting their team.
20, West Bladen 20. Last
Oh, West Columbus 2020, West Bladen. West Bladen, which has, the head coach West Bladen used to coach at West Columbus. So that's going to be a big one over there. I hadn't heard another Whiteville score.
I know it was tied the last I heard.
Tied, okay. Maybe let me see if I can go get an update.
Got to thank
Working
Kelly
on getting
Jones
an
for the
update.
new crawl of the scores that we have up in the right-hand corner at some points tonight.
KJ's either working on scores or Infinite Campus. We don't know which one it is.
He is the infinite campus mastermind.
Always a challenge each year.
Backside Sweet.
Hand off to number 5 there. Makes a juke move to the left and gains about 4 yards. It's going to be a turnover on down. A first down, okay. They do a first down. Calling the chains over. It's going to be a first down there. Who was that again running, Kev? 5? Smith, Philip Smith.
Philip Smith, number 5. This is a second chance to see Smith in as many weeks. And Smith, I love how he's always running hard, but he's always looking to turn those shoulders and go north-south.
Well, you know, Philip Smith, a junior, and playing behind some senior running backs there, and, you know, showing that he wants the ball.
Smith, I think, you know, could be the future of the Stallions. You know, these underclassmen really want their opportunity. Dragon, folks, is number 5, Philip Smith.
It's going to be
Correction, that was Gentry Thompson.
first and goal here for the Stallions.
That's going to be good enough for a first down.
First and goal, Stallions.
Now, does Loris put in their starting defense to try to keep the number of defensive scores against them down, or?
Final, Whiteville 38, East Bladen 14.
38-14, Whiteville over East Bladen.
There you go. 38-14. 2 on the outside. Looks like he's going to get to the corner.
Jalen Hubbard with the touchdown. 54-13 our score. 4 minutes to go here in the ball game. Hubbard picks up the score.
Cheerleaders taking off there. They're pretty quick. And they're going to come back and throw out some footballs, I bet you, Kevin.
Make sure you dive for it now.
Here comes the boom. That's what they played when I walked down the aisle getting married. Here comes the boom.
Sean, he said it. We didn't. Got an injured Stallion on the play.
Yeah, over there on the right sideline. I think that's Hubbard.
That's Hubbard. Took
Let's-
a pretty good whack going into the end zone.
Let's hope it's just a stinger or a cramp or something like that.
I mean, both these teams have been laying the leather all night. So this week I will be with my wife on Tuesday. She's actually having a revision to her knee replacement. When they did the replacement, they left the old kneecap in, and now the replacement is rubbing up against the kneecap.
Oh, is it painful?
Just a little bit.
Okay, yeah, sounds like it.
I did manage to get my stitches out this week.
That's good. That's good.
Now I'm in a walking boot, so
It won't be long for you running that 5K, Kevin.
yeah, anything's possible in
Yeah.
Columbus County.
Yep. Hey, me and you can get together and we can train for it. Let's do it, baby.
You know what it is? I think next year, Brett and I, if we get ourselves healthy, we'll take the lake.
And actually, they had a kid that swam the lake in under 2 hours. A 12-year-old kid. I read that. That's pretty
I think
awesome.
Brett and I would take about 2 days, but
My goodness. I couldn't float across the lake, to tell you the truth.
you know, I could take the lake, but I have to take it in an inner tube.
Yeah, I'm not interested in – I would do a triathlon if I didn't have to do the cycling, running, and swimming.
There you go.
Maybe I could do the running part. I don't know about the cycling.
I think we're going to
Swimming
have the
will be
Kelly
tough.
Jones triathlon at some point.
Swimming is probably the toughest of the three. Of people I've talked to that do triathlons, they say that that's the hardest one to get ready for. And so I'm going to stay away from that. Hubbard's still down on the sideline there.
So we
think
got
he's getting
how
ready
have
to
the
get
girls
up.
enjoyed their first couple weeks of school, Brett?
They say good. You know, it's hard to get anything out of a 12-year-old. And then the 9-year-old, she says everything was good, and that's about all they say. But my 3-year-old tells me everything when she gets home, and how she don't like it, and how she didn't like this teacher, and all this kind of stuff. But then when she's there, she loves it. But she still got it made because she gets to sleep during the day. She gets a nap.
Here's the question, Brett. Now, which is harder at the Burris household? Putting them to bed at night or getting them up in the morning?
It's according to which one. Like my 9-year-old pops right up. My 3-year-old pops right up. My 12-year-old, she don't like to get up. But I hope DSS don't get me on this. But if we get to bed before 10 o'clock each night, we've had a good night. That's all I can say. So DSS, if you're knocking or listening, I'm sorry. I'm trying my best. But they just don't like to go to bed.
I mean, it's either usually one or the other with the kids. Now, how many of you are really enjoying the fact that in just a few short months, Brett Burrows will be raising a teenager?
I know. That's scary for me, and I'm actually not ready for that because I've taught teenagers all my life, and I know how they are, and I don't know that I'll be out here when she's here, but I may need to be, tell you the truth.
Yeah. Brett will tell you that, those girls are raised expressly to avoid guys like us.
All right, got 81 back kicking here.
81 is
Oscar Valdez.
Valdez.
I thought that was somebody different, but Oscar gets a chance to kick an extra point. There's the second of the night.
Yeah. Oscar, with only 2 extra points tonight, kicked 8 last week.
That's right. Well, actually kicked 10.
Kicked 10 or 11,
yeah,
yes.
but 3 of them didn't count. But anyway.
3:12 to go, clock running once again, and, if you're if you're South Columbus, Brett, how do you take this and help you use it to build you for next week at West
Well,
Front?
anytime you play a better team, it does make you better, and that's something that you
Do
can
you
take
believe
out
iron
of this.
iron sharpens iron?
Iron sharpens iron. That's exactly right. And, just as long as some of the iron didn't dull you like as in injuries, you see Jalen Hubbard, sustained an injury there. Hopefully he's can shake that off. And, you see a couple of more South Columbus Stallions with some crutches and some little wheel thingamadoos or whatever. So,
And we are getting to that point in the year where everybody's kind of starting to get a little dinged.
And then, if you go, and South Columbus has a lot of players that go both ways, and when I say both ways, I mean play offense and defense, and that doubles your chance of injury, or actually triples it, because when you're tired, you're more apt to get injured. Here comes the footballs.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Well, the cheerleaders are just like going to hand deliver some and they may be hand delivering to us, Kevin. You never know. No. Sorry. Not tonight.
Button hook.
Here we go, Kevin. They can't even get them up here, Kelly.
Hey! Onside kick. Recovered by Loris. Tackled by number 30 for South Columbus, and that is Baxton Sellers. 1:25 to go.
And Kevin, it's probably going to be a couple of straight gives and knees, and we're going to finish this game here at 54-14.
Brett and I next week will be taking our first trip to Gator country next week for the Wolfpack taking on the East Columbus Gators. And what are you expecting to see out of East Columbus next week?
Well, I've seen their scores and some stuff, but I really don't know a lot about their offense and how they're playing. I always like to go down to East Columbus. A lot of great people down there in the eastern part of the county, and I like to see a lot of people I know. And
apparently we're going to re-kick this, huh?
Thing about East Columbus, they come out and play hard. That's what they do. They don't have a lot of numbers, but the ones that do come out for football, they do play hard, and I expect East Columbus to play hard.
Matter of fact, I want to give a shout out to one of our friends from East Columbus who helps us out each and every week, Jeff Rudnick. Hope he starts to feel a little bit better. He's been under the weather this week.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully he'll be back with us next week in the press box up at East Columbus.
Okay, all right. I didn't realize he was sick. Actually, I didn't notice he was gone, but I'm glad you told me that. South Columbus will kick off again here. They're going to kick deep, I'm sure. Yeah.
32 seconds. We maybe get one play out of this.
Going to the end zone? Yeah.
Touchback.
How about that?
Now, those are 3 words that don't generally go together. South Columbus touchback.
Yeah, that's true. And the stands are all emptying now.
That will be the last play of the ball game.
Yeah.
And again, South Columbus, other than Jalen Hubbard coming out of this relatively healthy, I didn't see too many injuries on either side, but both teams with a lot to clean up, Brett, as they get into the conference season. But I think this is a good opportunity for South Columbus to take stock of some things they need to work on to improve. But South Columbus, I think, is pretty poised to do well in the conference season.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, like I told you earlier, South Columbus tonight is playing the best team that they will play all regular season. I mean, including Whiteville. I mean, I've watched Whiteville play, and they're nowhere near what the Loris Lions
Now,
are.
you as a coach always favored that tough non-conference schedule. Like you said, iron sharpens iron. In that, you want to give your kids the toughest test, so when they get into the conference season, they're prepared. Do you feel South Columbus with West Brunswick next week? They played Swansboro. They played West Columbus. Do you think that non-conference schedule has prepared them for the conference this year?
Well, you hope it has. What you're going to tell your kids here, if you're Russell Dove, you're going to say, guys, this ball game's over. The hype is over from the border battle. Now let's focus on what the real focus is getting to this conference. Even though we got South Columbus still has one more non-conference to play over there at West Brunswick.
And realistically, the conference record is 0-0 right now, so there's so much left to play for.
Yeah.
I think if you're South Columbus, maybe you're looking to get healthy. You're looking to really use some film study to see, how they can improve. But I think both these teams have a lot to look forward to this year.
Yeah, I think so too. And I really do believe Loris Lions has a chance to vie for that lower state championship, because they have a team that is I don't see any parts of their team that is negative or needs a lot of work. They did miss a couple of kicks tonight. They did have some penalties, and I know the coaches will address those penalties. But Loris looks really good. South Columbus is also a good football team, but just ran against a juggernaut tonight.
Okay, Brett and I are going to spend the rest of the weekend looking forward to some great pro football, some college football this weekend. I believe the game down in Sao Paulo has now finally gotten underway. So there's a lot to look forward to. Brett, for football junkies like us, I mean, it's time to get into the meat of things and really start enjoying some great football weekends. High school football Friday, college Saturday, pro on Sunday.
Only negative is I'm going to have to fight for the remote control, because the kids grab it. Can we turn it? Like, no, I'm watching this
So
game.
what you're saying, it's a battle between Bluey and the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah. So, anyway, all right.
Okay, Brett Burrs and I will be on the campus of East Columbus next week for the Gators versus the Wolfpack. We will see you then. Before we'd like to thank our great students at CCCA. Kelly Jones filling in for Jeff Rudnick this evening. Connie Falk, our broadcasting teacher, who's getting married in the next week or two. We got a lot going on in the county. So if you can, check us out next week for the Columbus County Game of the Week.